What up, family? This your boy Lee Black, host of Real Talk for Real Men and the voice of TFG Ratchet. And here's another Ratchet moment about beef. Now, when I say beef, I'm not talking about the current feud that's happening between Chris Brown and Takeoff. I'm not even talking about the beef with 50 Cent and whoever the fuck he trolls and messes with. 50 is messy like that. These are not even beef between sports figures. There's all kinds of shit. This is beef between two actresses, Amanda Seales and Issa Rae. Now, according to this, Amanda Seales feels like she's not been protected by Issa Rae. She recently sat down on the Shannon Sharpe podcast called Club Shay Shay, and she laid out her alleged complaints against how she feels that she hasn't been supported by Issa Rae. Now, if you don't know, if you got shit to talk about, the medium to go do it is at Club Shay Shay. Cat Williams launched that shit into the orbit, and now anybody that has some beef, has some shit to say, and they want to be able to say it in an unfiltered way, that's where you go, to Shannon Sharpe. He's not a professional interviewer, but his setting is perfect for people to sit down and tell their side of things. This is exactly what Amanda Seales did. She laid out instances where she was actually booted out of an Emmy party. She actually talked about how she hasn't been invited to the BET Awards and some more shit, even though she hosted those. She feels that Issa Rae is responsible, Issa Rae and her publicist or manager. She mentions that they obviously have something against her and that Issa Rae hasn't always spoken up and supported her. People, what does this sound like? This is some messy hoe shit, as it's been said in rap music. Amanda Seales goes on to say, quote, "So I've never talked about this publicly because it has always been incredibly important to me to protect Issa. However, there's just been enough instances at this point where I should have been protected by Issa and I wasn't. Now it's at a point where my protecting of Issa has become turned on to me and something that people are using against me." Really? What the fuck are you talking about? Insecure, the show that made you famous on HBO, has been off the air for 7 years. The fact that Issa Rae has gone on to do more successful things and continues to her star to shine and rise, and yours haven't, I guess, to the point you thought, what right is it that you have to be at these parties? On top of that, why does she need to defend you if you're being booted out of parties? Your reputation for being a mean girl on set, and now you're coming forward talking about that how could you be the mean girl on set when Issa was your boss and she could have fired you? Well, bitch, the fact that she didn't fire you and let you stay on the show for all 5 years, meaning you got paid, you got famous, because we would know who the fuck you are without the show. I think you should be kissing her fucking feet, not talking about whether or not she should protect you. This is just a bitter bitch that's complaining and retroactively about shit that now you want to bring up. It's the same shit we see in the Me Too campaign. If you really had an issue and was being mistreated and all of these things were true as you say, why the fuck didn't you say anything while you was on the show and it was active and you had some leverage? 7 years later, now you're no longer getting invited to A-list parties and you have an issue? Stop it, bitch. On the Club Shay Shay podcast, she talked about that she was recently diagnosed as someone who has autism spectrum disorder. She said, "This is very difficult to identify in Black women because of racism." No, I hate when people do that. Don't throw in some fucking mystery medical disorder that you might or might not have and at the same time push the button that racism or feminism, that it's hard to diagnose in Black women because of behavior. No, if you're a messy ass bitch, where does these terms come from that maybe I'm on the spectrum? No, you can just be a messy ass gossiping bitter hoe. That's all. And I wish people would stop coming up with these terminologies. We got enough fucking commercials, by the pharmaceutical industry telling people that everything is wrong with them. The good old days is when a bitch is crazy, she's just crazy. I bet she got some good pussy. Crazy ass bitches got some real good pussy, but that's a whole nother conversation. Having said that, bitch, Stop blaming other people for your issues. If you're not getting invited to parties, if you're not fucking on the list anymore for A-list celebs, go out there, do the work, let your own star shine. You can't go back retroactively and blame Issa Rae. Issa, if you got any sense and you happen to see my little bullshit podcast, you don't need enemies when you got people like this around you. This is why I tell people walk alone, because you ain't gonna tell on yourself. And there's always messy ass motherfuckers that will come forward and stick a knife in your back and twist it when you least expect it, when they feel like you're not dragging them up the ladder with you. So, Amanda, with your good pussy, go somewhere and take several seats, sit down, as the gay people might say. Issa, baby, beautiful smile, great teeth. Believe you got some good pussy too. Keep doing your thing. Anyway, I am Lee Black with another TFG Ratchet moment. Keep subscribing, keep hitting that notification, and as long as shit is messy, tacky, bullshit, and ratchet, I'm going to be here to talk about it. God bless.